Welcome, achievement hunters and collectible gatherers. This will be the first episode in the Beat to Complete series, where we, believe it or not, go for 100% completion in some of your favorite games. In this episode, we are aiming to complete the newest installment in one of my favorite childhood game series, Pikmin. In this garden RTS, you amass an army of veggies to topple the food chain's order, and I suppose collect treasure on the way. Without further delay, it is time to beat to complete Pikmin 4. Also, just as a quick side note and heads up, a lot of the puns in this video are actually based off item names from Pikmin, so if they don't make sense, that is why. Sorry, not sorry. The game opens up with the Hakatation's best and worst space pilot of the SS Dolphin, Olimar. And this time around, he finally makes a perfect land. Well, shit. We'll get him next time. Details schmetails, however, since Olimar also finds a space doggo and begins growing his vegetable army. Even his vicious veggies thought breaking and entering was too far, so they dispersed immediately to find a new leader. After learning many kidnapping, veggie napping techniques, Olimar smells a mystery, gang, and finds a peaceful porcupine minding its own business. Well, screw that! Plunder and pillage is the Pikmin way, after all. Due to calling in backup because the planet is too big for one man to colonize, the rescue corps rushes over, and they crash too. Me, being probably the only good pilot left in the galaxy, take it upon myself to spend an hour picking out the sickest fit. Over an hour of wondering if I look like a woman, I then decide if Felix can do it, I can too. Upon landing on the mysterious planet, I find the most valuable member of the rescue corps, Bochi the dog. We also find our comms operator Colin taking a fat nap behind the nearby pot. I learn that the SS Shepherd is taking quite a tumble along with its 6 inhabitants. Before that, however, Colin confuses me with Gen Alpha and mistakenly gives me an iPad. We discover a buried cave, and Cullen the anatomist assumes that all holes are connected. After a bit of that hard down to PNF 404 labor, we finally make our way into the subtly named Burrow of Beningings. Fuck. We discover Captain Shepard being harassed by some babies, so we dispose of them without hesitation. After assimilating with the Corps, we decide to claim the cave as our own, of course. Oh, and we found the ship, I suppose. Colin sets up his death flag because crashing a ship wasn't quite enough and learns that we need to gather energy known as sparklium to repair our ship. We then discover this planet's answer to crop circles in, oh hey, Pikmin! Specifically the green variant. Oh, whoops, I am colorblind. The game tells me it is red. Red Pikmin are essentially the frontline grunts of my army. These little monsters are born from the voluptuous onions. I mean, just look at those curves. Like an angry mob, we dig up a pitchfork, the noble bident. But this only slightly fuels the fires of rebellion, so we also recover the Path Creator and Stone of Advancement. Only after Colin's own advancement to the afterlife. We are then congratulated for being good at weightlifting, and the ship is ready to take flight. But before that, it is time to call it a night. Oh yeah, and the ship has sentience and can name objects, so lucky for us. And, on the plus side, it does not have as much sass. Day 2. Wake up, soldier. It is time for another day. Unfortunately, we instantly get deployed to the foreign lands of Sun-Speckled Terrace. It might look like a pretty garden, but there's certainly oil to be found. After gathering mats like it's Fortnite, we delve into the last Frost Cavern. Down here, we find the Director of Destiny and refreshing goo. Additionally, my violent vegetarians can hardly stand the lack of rations, let alone the cold. Luckily, the ice Pikmin, however, were more than eager to join our noble cause. There also seems to be a funky-ass onion down here, which would explain the smell. Oh wait, actually that is our scientist Russ, who will later grant us the technology to turn the tides of this losing war. He will essentially be the Oppenheimer of our operation. Back above ground, we collect the aptly named Lesser Mock Bottom, assuming mine is the greater. Exerting our God-given rights, we'll have to wait a day, as sunset approaches quicker than expected. Morning of day 3. We hook up Bochi with some roids and me with the immunity to the flames of war. After heading back to the terrace, we finally bring back the double dragon-eyed scope and enter the crackling cauldron. Right off the bat, there are a couple of veggies with a shockingly higher vertical than I, so they are conscripted right then and there. Yellow Pikmin are like the mortars of this operation. While searching, I find the deceptive snack and begin digging to obtain the illumination goo. Also, it seems like I bought the charge horn for absolutely nothing, since silly little past me can't fucking seem to understand it. Nevertheless, this dusty bed is strung up like a bullied kid in the 70s, so we kindly take it for ourselves. Finally, I begin to understand that the charge horn actually works on sub-level 2. After finding Mother Nature's definitely one and only daughter of the Earth, we rescue half the Piclopedia. Additionally, the SS Chocolate and Cookie of Nibbled Circles is also obtained, and with that, another cave complete. On the surface, we knock down the temporal mechanism, yet we are still running out of time in the day. The satellite shield follows soon after, along with a couple of perforated rafts, after smashing some vases. After using only a mere fraction of my power, the bag comes crashing down and the yellow onion is obtained. The dastardly not Olimar fellow seems to have kidnapped someone, but that can wait until after I take this mysterious carriage home first. Upon pursuing the kidnapper, I learned that he just wanted to play a friendly game of Dandori. After crushing his dreams, I took the hostage as my own. Rescued? Please. Simply under new management. And hey, my search expanded and I can reach a new location. Day 4. Rise and shine! Butchie decided to go for a PR today while I headed to opt for the cool head, a tack drone, and even a completionist's best friend, a guide. I also decided to expand and conquer new territory, this time being the blossoming Arcadia. Right away I found the sweat-soaked bird, ew, sticky jewel, and floral instigator. All just kind of chilling around the ground. Built a bridge and found a decapitated head. Oh, the horror. Anyways, yet another bridge down, and with it, another Dandori battle. This battle taught me about stocks and finding out what the market desires. Being the businessman that I am, I won without faltering.
Day 5. Fuck, this bit's gone on too long.
Bochi the dog learned Bite, which is luckily very effective, and I became immune to sticking forks in outlets. After heading back to the blossoming Arcadia, I found myself spelunking into the secluded courtyard cave. Business as usual, I found some blue decorative goo, and because I love complementary colors so much, I decided to take the citrus lamp as well. The goo wasn't the only thing blue, as there were angry aquatic assassins of a certain hue, who, with me, shared the same value. My dog soon learned that he was indeed not Duck Hunt after almost fucking drowning, but we still got the duck, an almost universal rubber cutie. Speedrunning through sub-level 2, we got the Talisman of Life Cherry Blossom version, Time Marker, and Disguised Delicacy. Down here, we also found Floral Freak Kingsley, giver of infinite quests. Down another level, and I take the sus Blonde Imposter and Astringent Clump. My Vegetation Battalion grows as another Flarlick is brought back to the mothership. I like to think I know a boss from when I see one. This nectar is sure—
Hey, yo, get me out of here!
Yes, it is exactly as you were thinking. I duked it out with a fertilized egg. With the Foolix evaporated, I rescue useless Corps Officer Dingo. The only thing we have in common is that we prioritize 100% completion over the main mission. Oh, there was also the mask of a certain lady from a specific nightmare. A little nightmare, some might say. Anyways, after going back to touch grass once more, I collect the Velvety Dream Drop, beach a ship, pass go, and collect 3 grenades. Lucky me. What do you mean you can't keep count? I'm not gonna do it for you. It was getting old anyways, and I don't want to do it. Do you know how many days we have left? Oh god, woke up and Bochi is literally pushing P while I choose to invest in anti-lollygagging measures. Wait a minute. The enemy is drafting people as well? I thought only I could do that. I guess the only thing to do is wait until a convenient solution appears. I love blossoming Arcadia so much that I go for a 3rd time in a row. Bochi finally gets over anxiety, though not of the social kind, and decides to learn swimming. Establishing the pecking order was futile for this burrowing snaggart, as its tactical defeat marked the collection of the Brush of Wisdom. Taking a nice stroll, I happened upon the Sphere of Fuzzy Feelings, oh what a mouthful, and the Harmonic Synthesizer. Then making Vector proud, I stole the Wayward Moon. Since that was so easy, I decided to challenge myself with another cave, the Drafty Gallery. Deep between the pipes and metal discs, I find a memory fragment of probably the top and glowing hoop of fortune, since green obviously equals fat stacks. On a ledge just above lies the spouse alert, because why trust your partner? Down a level, I found the Sphere of Support back at beginning track, and that one stupid hand grip tool, the Tandem Trainer. It isn't my fault I got weak hands. Oh hey, 4,000 Sparklium. At sub-level 3, I find the internal clock measure and also some damn oil finally. Let's go. As I reached the bottom floor, killing a balloon animal rewarded me with the other half of the Piclopedia. I also obtained a sphere of something Olimar would never return to. His family.
Day 7.
After taking a break to annihilate a baker's dozen of infants, I bought the headlamp and used Harden. I just can't get enough of blossoming Arcadia, so I decided to save an endangered species. There was also another freaky onion, Funyun. However, what I could not save was the dying state of golf. The orbital communication sphere was all I could salvage. Wanting to turn a blind eye to the tragedy of golf, I entered the sightless passage. The headlamp came in clutch as I found the masterpiece plank, micromanagement station, hoop of healing, and heat sensor. Additionally, I rescued Francois, provider of infinite quests. His hunger for quest giving is insatiable. He will never be satisfied. He will always be giving you those damn... Anyways, back on the surface, I repented for the earlier Bulborb larvicide by collecting the Shake a Smile. And I couldn't help but smile when I found the mechanical harp playing a familiar tune from Pikmin 3. Little side note, actually, these were some of my favorite treasures to collect, actually. The little music boxes, they were very nice. While I was at it, I also obtained the Searing Acid Shock. Believe it or not, it is just day 8. After a bit of spring cleaning, we discovered a crashed ship. I simply couldn't figure out why it looked so familiar. To distract myself from this conundrum, I learned the art of running faster and purchased a Kevlar vest. Going back to Sun-Speckled Terrace, I deduced that no army is too big, no army is too small. Yet a Flarlick is the only thing I care about at all. And would you believe it, there was an aspiration ritual ball up upon a wall. Soon after, a blue onion was mine for the taking, and all primary colors were finally assembled. Yay! An army of torpedoes was now at my disposal, though their strength would pale in comparison to the orb of destruction I found soon after. As if it wasn't chaotic enough, I then ventured into the hectic hollows. Down on sub-level 1, the daughter doll finally reunited with her similarly decapitated mother. Scary. As if things couldn't get any worse, the body was also found at the scene of the crime this time. An empty vase of a torso. On the second sub-level, I got completely bodied. But he lived to regret it. I also found the aspiration ritual pole strung up nearby. Petunia found herself unconventionally KO'd while researching mysterious creatures. AKA Louis, probably. Fresh air, followed by fresh fruit, a sunseed berry became my tribute. But nature sucks, so I jumped into the industrial maze. God damn it, Pochi! Stop feeling isolated from society! I used the force on the personal injury plank, Skate 3 style, and then solved puzzles. Being the genius that I am, buttons and levers were pushed according to plan. Well, until they weren't. What the hell, Yellow Pikmin? Just jumped that! What else did I bring you along for? But after that was fixed, I attained the top right memory fragment. On sub-level 2, I broke some vases to save the stately rubber cutie, and then found the detective's truth seeker. This helped me dig up dirt on the whereabouts of the nearby unlimited locomotive. Stranded on a floating platform, I then saved our rescue corps officer, Dr. Yanni. Laurel? Oh wait, Yanni. His eyes may be soulless and black as night, but his expedition served the same purpose. Getting home, we find that our ship is also ready to have its engines restored. Day 9. Bochi truly has that dog in him, but so do I. Yanni, hatred coursing through his veins, sends me on my first night expedition. During the night, we find the red variant of the Pikmin species. What? You thought that colorblind joke would only happen once? No. The only thing dead here is the Pikmin. But no, the nuclear glow Pikmin are basically immune to all elemental hazards, making it the strongest in my veggie militia. Though, just like me, they fear sunlight. Regardless, day or night, my fierce flora will slaughter every bit of fauna on this forsaken planet. There isn't a living creature in existence that can climb to the top of this food chain. Day 10, and probably the last one I will say. After curing Mr. I Yearn for the Mind's dash of the Leafy Plague, I go on yet another expedition. Another easy survival, decimating all in my path. Woke up next morning and cured Corgwin, a fellow like-minded colonizer of the planet. Decided to wash away the fears of the night by traveling to serene shores. I learned today that I'm not top of the food chain.
Psych!
Fish bed snack obtained. On the ledge below, I found the stellar extrusion and entered the below-grade discotheque cave. Picked up the thrill ride track and then proceeded to ponder the orbs rather than orbit my pond. At sub-level 2, I reclaimed my go-go gadget, the Soul Reverberator, and then picked up the olfactory sculpture to brighten up the dark, damp cave. Down another level and I collect the Turn of Events track, which leads me to the unexpected winged Pikmin. These military-grade carrier helicopters will be a necessary asset to transporting things over gaps. At sub-level 4, I swiftly pick up the Relentless Spear, and after telling the floor to cool it, I got the Sphere of Beginnings. Nothing can stop me now. I regret to say that I was once more successfully stopped, about 10 times, by a disco ball spider. But while he may have won the battle, after battle, I won the war.
Hell yeah, America!
I actually acquired the amplified amplifier and hit the sickest jig before rescuing a tiny body of water who styles hair. Saving this puddle led to the drought of the entire location, but I got the fishy bed, so I count it as a win. Woke up on a sunny morning and found not one, but 2 chance totems, though they had both rolled 1s. Uh-oh. Golf came back to haunt me, which must be a sign, so I obeyed the bad luck and beat up the nearest man I can find. After remembering my hardcore training from Pikmin 2 against my siblings, I learned to use items against the definitely totally not Olimar. Overwhelming victory through the wealth of golden pears. Now that my frustration has been vented, I set out to collect the Face Wrinkler and Mock Bottom. Along the way, I shed a tear as I gaze upon liberty itself, the lamp of inspiration. Just beautiful. Invigorated with liberty and justice for all, I enter the Sub-Zero sauna. After freeing a disguised delicacy, I add chemical warfare to my arsenal with the introduction of white Pikmin. On the next sub-level, my Pikmin show that they're chill like that, and I shit you not hit the coldest gritty. Whittlewy. I'm so sorry. They decide to never back down, never what, and grab me the True Goo, the Left Edge Memory Fragment, and Mika, a teacher with both severe hypothermia and missing students. On the third and final sublevel, we throw hands with the Arctic Cannon Beetle and rescue environmentalist Psy, an enemy to freedom and expansion of liberty. Additionally, we are enamored by the Contemplation Station, who truly makes me reflect this mission of God, golden glory. As if. Today I got a lot of upgrades. Bochi finally becomes the rock and I can carry essentially anything, and rush better. With strength comes responsibility though, so I taught him the tender gentleness of plucking patriotic plants. In order to be a good role model, I strapped on some brace boots, gave Bochi more health, and invented both the loiter alert and retreat beacon. With some leftover mats, I even learned the ability to throw even more punches of freedom. During this night mission, I taught Bochi the importance of standing on business and survive the night easily. That morning, we cured our last Rescue Corps officer and pilot, Bernard. Maybe this time he won't wreck the ship. I will forgive him since he recognizes me as the weapon I am, though. Oh shit, Bochi has rabies! Back on the beachfront, I dig up the bright sword and move my base. After that, I steal a clam's ring of return shield and kidnap the ugly duckling. Heading over to the seafloor resort, I find myself in an aquarium. On the first sub-level, 2 maestros of flavor await me. There is also the false lollipop and maternal sculpture that both remind me of her. Fat sigh. The iconic duo of Funyun and Strawberry soon follow after. Falling to the second sub-level, I quickly obtained the Dapper Blob, Trap Lid, 2 planetary cuties, and 1 jumbo universal cutie. I also had to save the founder of the science club, Shiba. Additionally, I got lost for about 10 minutes searching for this cute couple of octopuses hidden on the shore. On sub-level 3, the Brush of Foolishness taunts me, along with a massive set of chompers, or monster teeth if you will. In the water, I also find 3 spirit swords and 3 mystery squish fish. The final sub-level houses the Master Hop, who can barely escape as my weakest Pikmin fells the foul amphibian. My weakest link earns me the Greed Inducement device for his heroic deeds. This will surely go down in history, unlike the rescue of Muggs, a reporter who will never make the front page. The roided up Bochi drags an entire watermelon, the Crimson Banquet, to our base. Across a bridge, the giant's fossil argues against Moai statues having hidden bodies under the surface. A blatant lie, so to the storage it goes. My dog gets some more swimming lessons, so we go back to Serene Shores to test them out. We begin the day by excavating the Noodleite shell and mystery squishfish. After successfully avoiding a classic comedy slip-up, the slapstick crescent is safely escorted home, along with a very zesty bomb and Clam's prized possession, the Princess Pearl. Oh my goodness gracious! A Dandori battle with me? I don't know if I can handle it. Upon taking the bush camper home, I discover the Dawn pustules hiding out in the water, though green grapes ain't all that. While the tide is low, I decide to explore the engulfed castle. As I gather the juicy gaggle and ice sword, an ominous tune hovers about in the air. Trying to shake off the sense of impending doom, I gather the hoop of passion and secured satchel. Just one more treasure.
Oh my god, it's the fucking water wraith!
This liquid steamroller is invincible to all but the fattest of Pikmin, which we do not have quite yet. After shitting myself a couple times over, I finally collect the last treasure on the floor, the Vanishing Cookie, which is representative of my confidence. Sub-level 2, Electric Boogaloo, and now I know to speedrun the floor to avoid catastrophe. I have little trouble getting the Daughter of the Earth and 2 Crush Nuggets, but rescuing Quiche was another story as the Jiggle Jiggle skin continued to pursue. There was no trouble on sub-level 3 with easy collection of Scaly Custard, Child of the Earth, and another memory fragment of probably the bottom. Locking in, we arrive at sub-level 4 and decide to get back on track and collect the Velvety Dream Drop. I was soon faced with a difficult choice for this totem, but opted to let a later problem be my solution. With that, we also collect the Insect Condo. After narrowly escaping down into the final sub-level, I decide an all-out attack is finally what is necessary to take down the Water Wraith, and opt to cultivate myself some tanks, the Purple Pikmin. The death of one man sparked a fire in my heart as I revoked the enemy's wheels and later life. Proving once and for all that only my army is allowed to deliver crushing defeat, we collect the Glinty Circular Disc, Noble Goo, and rescue Archaeologist Osa. Next morning, I urged Bochi the dog to touch even more grass. I enhance his ability to pluck and run. Wanting a little something something for myself, I upgrade my treasure detector, whistle range, and tough stuff. Learning Osa's secret archaeological techniques, I revisit Blossoming Arcadia to dig up the wind detector and lower half of a maiden. I narrowly avoid being coerced into joining a cult by establishing dominance through taking everything they own, including themselves as an individual. Realizing my absolute alpha status, I jump into the Kingdom of Beasts. Snuffing out some fires granted me the Flaky Temptation and bottom right memory fragment. Down a level and I assist a group of sturdy cannonballs. These rock Pikmin are exceptionally good at breaking glass and kicking ass. Well, after a while at least. Regardless, their assistance yielded me the ambiguous goo and later an anxious sprout. On sub-level 3, the majestic Empress Bulblax slept peacefully. So after reviewing my operation orders, I made the morally correct decision to silence it. This turned out to be the right decision as Frise, the composer, and 3 discs of joyous wisdom were caught being guarded by this beast. Surviving some freaky tongue action on sub-level 4 made me rush to collect yet another rubber duck, with the sweet Stumblenot following soon after. Immediately on sub-level 5, I saw a family being dangerously suspicious, so my hand was forced. 3 dice and 1 cookie of prosperity later, and we unearthed the crew-cut gourd. My 6th amendment was tested when I saw that sub-level 3's Lady Beast was being cheated on by her beloved with another goddamn man. Or a beast. A man-beast. To settle this dispute, I made the impartial decision to eradicate all those involved, taking the kid as the parents were obviously inhumane. And inhuman. With Kaya rescued, I set my sights on a nostalgic scene and procured myself some of that free ancient head. What? Seeing the sun once more motivated me to ravage the last Dandori challenge. With that, Blossoming Arcadia is finally 100% complete. The first to be granted true democracy. To celebrate this newfound success, I train max Bochi's swimming and plucking capabilities. Exciting! He even got his own health upgrade, Kevlar vest, and for Gits and Shiggles, riot gear. Riding on this momentum, I travel to the sun-speckled terrace for the final time as well. The Queeferous Summit was my first goal, and on the first floor I found the Crane Talisman of Life encased in some frozen jello. Speeding to the next floor, I discover the top left memory fragment and knock down the skin of a phoenix. I feel like there's a better way to word these things. Additionally, Fire Emblem taught me that opera singing is vital for an army's morale, so I made sure to rescue Vonda as well. Boots back on the ground, and I recovered the Moon, Talisman of Life, Snack Bean, Fire-Breathing Feast, and Child of the Earth. Another day, another Dandori, and this one simply couldn't fathom my completionistic supremacy. And with that, another lovable locale meets its maker as it is 100% completed. Our favorite Pooch becomes independent and can patch himself up, so we also give him the immunity to fire. Feeling on top of the world, I platinum 2 more Dandori challenges and head into a night mission. In the morning of day 19, Professional Space Yapper Jin is cured, unfortunately. To avoid hearing any of his tall tales, I decide that I'd rather stake my life on yet another night expedition. After sleeping longer than usual, I discover that Chet, the leader of the research task force, is being cured. Being the responsible man he is, he delegates the task of finding his entire crew to me. Thank you. Well, screw that, I'm actually going on a rookie's night out, with only twice the termite hills to protect. Waking up barely conscious from all these late night outings, and I overhear that we have not 1 but 2 more mouths to feed. Shit. A tour guide named Chewy, and the 10% of gamblers patch. Additionally, all those late night shifts allowed Big Boss Bochi to learn Headbutt and become immune to shock. Of the physical kind, I mean. Next up on the itinerary was storming the beach once more. Easily in reach on the sandy hills behind me, I robbed a spider of his duck and berry, dug up a heroine's tear, and hit mock bottom. Realizing it was all up from here, I saw an ambiguous hostel on a ledge above. In the nearby waters, I took even more ducks from their natural habitat, since Dawn needed a new commercial ASAP. After a slight scare at first, I convinced myself that this foolish brew had to be above average, and decided to compensate for it by beating this Dandori in a measuring competition of points. Feeling confident after this sizable victory, I put on the crown and reclaimed the Emperor's Whistle. That happiness was swiftly revoked as I couldn't seem to figure out where this last treasure was. However, I did see a family of fish on the map, and unluckily for them, my sword hand hungers. Get down, sword hand, please! Oh hey, is that another freaky garlic? The beach is much more relaxing when 100% complete, and it's just you and your garden of gorillas. Treated myself with some extra muscle and the dog with a heated coat in the morning. I wanted to test them out, so I went on another expedition past my bedtime. The next day, I cured needy streamer Molly, who... Wait. This leafling was a girl? So, what was the meaning of that contest of size then earlier? Was it all meaningless? Can I even show myself in front of the other Dandori? Why am I even the leader of these vicious veggie militia? And most importantly, I should probably get back to the video, yeah? Anyways, after that small crisis, I continue my search for Olimar in the hero's hideaway. Finally, I am indoors and in my element. On a board nearby, I find another dart pinning up the Triforce of Wisdom. Wait a minute. Seems not Olimar's not dog, Moss, is guarding the house. After sparking some turf war conflict, we subdue Moss and gather the Shooting Star Shield, Peacemaker combo bot, Spinning Memories plank, and another trap lid. Climbing the nearby table, I enter the doppelganger's den because there is likely an imposter among us. Setting the emergency button aside for later, I prioritize obtaining the astringent clump, merciless extractor, and face wrinkler. A truly potent fruit drink. Jumping down a level further, I find the final missing family member and her torso. Oh, the humanity! There was also the life controller here. On sub-level 3, I became a parkour artist. And collected the Dusk Pustules, Citrus Lamp, and Pocked Airhead. After getting some serious deja vu, I also grabbed the Top-ish Memory Fragment. Sub-level 4 contained one of the cutest bosses thus far, and after much hesitation, I did what I had to do. Liquefying the large lizard later granted me access to the Thrill Ride Track, Difficult Choice Totem, and Go With The Flow Totem. There could be no witnesses, so I took the nearby Plant Man hostage as well. Hey, I think there's a base over there. I want it now. Breaking news, here and just now, Bochi bites harder and becomes immune to psychedelics. No way! Another night mission? Starting off the day with curing lesser pilot Santi, who is just as good at flying as he is at avoiding his rival. Eager to stay indoors another day, I head back to the hero's hideaway without delay. This behemoth black beetle couldn't handle this brutal beating, netting me a classic
Beach volleyball!
Going for the gold, I also got the Priceless Bird, Fist Force Combo Bot, and the sometimes Unbreakable Promise. Spent the rest of the day toiling away and connected the upper and lower classes. Upgraded my goggles and headed home on day 26. I started by stealing the sure-footed, foot of a Combo Bot.
ほう、向かってくるのか。
As the hero of crime, I enacted my right to smash pots, gathering the searing acid shock in 5 perforated rafts. On a nearby sink, I also collected the doggy bed and 2 love nuggets. Soon after, I discovered the unquestionably, indisputably, without a doubt, best treasure in the entire game, with the charming name of Buddy Display. Once that priceless artifact was collected, I headed back to clear the Plunder Palace. Sub-level 1 gave me no trouble as my gambling addiction earned me the discs of both sorrowful and surprising wisdom. Feeling lucky with absolutely no skill issues, I also grabbed the 2 go-with-the-flow totems and 1 long-shot totem. There was also the solar-powered computing machine and some nearby shrubbery. On the next floor, I assembled the Kickstart and Nexus portions of the Combo Bot and then picked up a Dimension Converter. I fittingly rescued Twyla the Geologist by pelting a porcupine with a normal amount of stones and continued on my way. Finding myself on an episode of Hoarders, I played along and found discs of amusing, joyous, and surprising wisdom. After saving this duck from his gambling debt, I also carried the bottom left memory fragment and Rain Talisman of Life. On sub-level 5, I arrive and holy shit! Is this a mukbang competition? I quickly got another perforated raft, but being the lean short king I am, I had to resort to removing the competition to even the odds a bit. I obtained an SS Berry from the first, and using both Love's Fortune Cookie and Hearty Container as bait, I got 3 discs of Angry Wisdom from the second. I also rescued someone, but after getting distracted by some peak jiggle physics, I missed their name. Retrieving a nearby walking stick, I proceed to make my trek up a steep slope. At the summit, I discover a Flarlick disguised delicacy in the almighty Sweet Torrent. With the extra medicine we had lying around, Kaze was able to be cured the next morning. Best Boy Bochi learned Mega Rush level 2 as well. Honey, I'm home, and hitting a wicked frontside on this rail. Accomplishments deserve recognition, and for that I earned the SS Chocolate and Peppermint. Additionally, there was a Flarlick up there, finally bringing my voracious veggie count to the maximum of 100. On top of that, this robot is now completely assembled with the think tank finally attached. I also grabbed a mechanical harp playing a certain windmills theme, which gave me the courage to get this emblem and the power to get another. I then showed this leafling my Dandori without hesitation, and completely dominated them. Well, left them unconscious. Oh god, this does not bode well for my legal future. Anyways, I found the number jumper after jumping a number of platforms. Being the totally for sure hot yet chill guy I am, I draw the obvious conclusion to enter the Frozen Inferno Caverns. On the first floor, I do not heed Smokey Bear's plea and grab the Cushion Cake Octo Plus Heroic Sword, as well as the Deceptive and Puzzle Snacks. I'm not doing so hot as I reach sub-level 2, but after warming up, I go to collect another Stellar Extrusion, Crush Nugget, and Insect Condo. Sub-level 3 and I'm starting to get cold feet. Though I quickly recover and bring the heat to collect a Seed Hive, Citrus Lamp, and Zest Bomb. Just in time as I am getting tired of these hot and cold puns, I reach the final sub-level. A raging inferno flows through me in the heat of the moment as I realize the boss also has a pun for a name, so I'm forced to put it on ice, indefinitely. Another boss down and another no-name taken in. And just like your enjoyment of these surface-level puns, this lance is also shattering. From one segue to the next, and we ourselves end up on the surface level. On my way back, I also free the Ice Onion and my Pikmin fumble it, leaving it for my return back. Unfortunately, I've been getting too good of sleep lately, so let's do some night expeditions. While the beachfront is a much scarier battle at night, I flawlessly annihilate every organism in sight. Mineral Expert Kit is cured, and it's off to yet another nightly excursion. I'm starting off the night feeling like it is a Mori, which puts me on edge. Turns out there was nothing to be afraid of, however, as another night mission is cleared successfully. Certified bro, Como is cured during the morning. A real one-woman army right here. Continuing where I left off on day 27, I recover the ice onion and then head over to crack the code on this mysterious safe. After wishing on the Triforce to give me the combination, I am later challenged by potentially Olimar to a game we all know and love. Hide and seek. No, goddammit, it's Dandori, guys. In an intense battle of winner takes all, I face off against the original captain to prove who has the cuter dog. Ignoring that I snuck explosives into the competition, I brought overwhelming defeat to definitely Olimar and carried him to safety. Funnily enough, I actually rescued Olimar on day 30, so I stayed incredibly true to the lore. With that out of the way, the hero's hideout is actually officially 100%ed. Obviously, the only thing left to do is grow berries and manufacture so-called ultra spicy spray as a side hustle. With the one and only Captain Olimar finally cured again, we set our sights on a return trip home. Thank God there aren't any other Hakatations causing any trouble. Look at all these peaceful Pikmin. With the war finally over, they can probably think about procreating rather ravenous offspring. No fucking way. Louis, why are you still here? I thought you would have been fired not one, not two, but over 20 times by now. Oh hey, shout out to me. And hey, not a single soul lost so far. Nope, not one. Well, shit. Bochi is too scared to leave the planet. It must be the social anxiety. Well, back on the planet and big man on campus over here thinks he can just swallow anything. What the hell, Bochi? To get my mind off of whatever that was, I opt for a nice camping trip to the Giant's Hearth. Maybe we will find Louis here grilling or something. Louis actually appears as we land, and Olimar disses the hell out of him. We decide to go after him so that we can save Nell. But first, treasure! After rescuing a rubber cutie from a sticky situation, I learned that red Pikmin have the IQ of vegetables. Wait. After a kind man told me Dandori anytime, I took that literally and decided instead to recover an anxious sprout, slapstick crescent, and yet another spider's abducted treasure. After that, a majority of the day was spent spreading wildfires and constructing bridges. Upon returning once more to the hearth, I picked up the slipperbug fossil, got jumped, and then found the 4 grill brothers and another Flarlick. On the brick grill were 2 ice swords and a beetle with a gambling addiction. I encountered the sovereign bullblacks guarding a strange treasure. It looked a little like an onion, but also a little like a rock. Once the rock onion had assimilated, I beat up a leafling that was camping without a license. Camping and grilling are fun and all, but being out in the wilderness is actually about the sport of hunting. As a certified and seasoned hunter of achievements, I jumped into the ultimate testing range. I easily grabbed the longshot totem and sphere of trust. But unlike that sphere, my trust was lost once my yellow Pikmin decided to take the easy way out when faced with the relentless spear. On sub-level 2, I experienced Joy-Con drift, but pushed through and grabbed the straight and narrow track. On the lovely sub-level 3, I had the privilege of finding 2 heart swords and 1 sphere of hearts. There was also a man! The next floor was simple as I quickly obtained the right edge memory fragment and disc of surprising wisdom. On sub-level 5, I went toe-to-toe with the damn those legs! Barely surviving the average American school experience led to me getting the Freedom Sculpture and fellow treasure hunter Don Bergman. With 1 coat by rescue— wait, they are still fucking starving? Goes to show how much 50 bottles of juice can do for your entire population, I suppose. After learning that the starving Kopai are actually just picky eaters, Don tells us that someone took both their juice and their people. I wonder who that could be. To give me time to wrap my head around this mystery, I do a couple night missions. The house expedition, ominous as usual, goes by smoothly. But I noticed this whack-looking egg. I thought it looked familiar, but brushed it off after nothing happened. CEO Alpin was cured in the morning as I headed to one more nightly excursion. And this was actually the night where my boy finally returned, the menacing Smoky Prague. Deadly as ever, the Prague was eventually dealt with, and with it, the night ended. Because why not? Yet another businessman was cured today. My dream of building copious amounts of Walmarts is becoming tangible. Back to hard work, I turn off some sprinklers and gather the Love Nugget, Seed Hive, and Snack Bean. I then teach a colossal crustacean about mortality salience as I get a fish bed snack and crew cut gourd. Next up, the Cradle of Beasts calls my name and I answer. Right away, I collect the bottomish memory fragment, delectable bouquet, and citrus lamp after definitely not causing some fires. On the next floor, my army goes for a new PR and weight training as they heave the king of meats. There is also a man down here who has definitely seen things. Well, up until he was compressed into a zip file. My god, this boss was a pain in the ass. On sublevel 3 lies the Empress Bullblacks that actively gives birth. Other than presenting me with a moral dilemma, she also presented me with 5 rubber ducks and dead weight. Bernice. I began this morning by being flashed by a Bloomcap Bloister, but forgot about it as I grabbed the birdie bed and later persistence machine. Oh my god, a Dandori battle! Oh, the humanity! Oh my god, a Dandori battle! Oh my god, loot! After swiftly dealing with the one whose hunger knows no bounds, we rescue York the scientist, engineer, and Senkinkopai out of 3. With some time left in the day, I enter the dream home, which, like my mother's basement, is underground. This cave is actually just one large level with lots of treasures, so let's speed things up. I found the deity's portrait and leisure car hiding behind a nearby wall, along with a fascinating item and some pottery. Some happy thoughts in a bottle, condensed sunshine resided in this oversized bulborb. Reaching evil karma after killing the majestic beasts resulted in me finding the devil's portrait, so I collected the divine balloon to balance the scales. After finding such an unexpected throwback, the space spinner, I also collected some captivation goo and the money emblem. Of course, one can't have money without a job, so I made sure to grab the work emblem along with the extra flarlick for overtime. Unfortunately, my brain cells actually vanished over the course of this sublevel as shown during this fight, but I still had barely enough to knock down the love emblem and blast shield. Additionally, I saved probably the happiest guy in this cave. I ended up taking out a brain cell loan to put the combination in for this safe, and oh boy was I rewarded. The giant bread bug has nothing on this. With the giant's hearth now complete, I have one final destination to go. With York's assistance, we expand the radar's range one final time. I could never have guessed that the glow sap that cures leaflings can actually prevent someone from turning into one. Wow! In order to demonstrate this newly learned info, I went on a night mission to prove their hypothesis. Oh, and Bochi learned to deal with stress better. Also, as someone who busts gunk, this next upgrade was essential. Camping during the day was one thing, but this night mission was way different. After all, it only took a fraction of the time to eradicate an entire ecosystem. The next day, we rescued... Wait a minute. Did he take my identity? And holy shit, is that James Charles? Hey, sister. Hey, Olimar, got any war stories? A long PTSD episode ensues, so gather around, young ones. It's going to be a long one. Or, if you're so inclined, I suppose you can skip here to resume our primary game antics. Anyways, Olimar, with only 15 days left of life support, has to recover all 30 of his ship parts, just like the good old days. General Olimar enlists the nearby residents to accomplish this, much like myself. Within the Sun-Speckled Terrace, he finds the extraordinary bolt, automatic gear, and mortars on day 1. Day 2 was a little worse off as only the repair-type bolt was collected, but also a lot of new Pikmin were sprouted. The Sun-Speckled Terrace was completed on day 3 with the success of recovering the Ionium Jet, Whimsical Radar, and Libra. Additionally, Olimar mishandled explosives, but eventually got the Nova Blaster. Upon reaching the newly named Blossoming Arcadia, Olimar gets sentimental but proceeds to march onwards. During day 4, another bolt is dug up along with the discovery for the one and only moss. After an adorable little scene, we call it a night. You know what they say, another day, another day. Anyways, on the 5th day, I return to grab the repair-type bolt, extraordinary bolt, and also research into constructing torpedoes. And before the day ends, I make sure to grab another gear before getting the radiation canopy with only a little time left. Day 6 ends with the collection of the second Ionium Jet, the Omega Stabilizer, and yet another bolt. This marks the last of the area as it gets 100% completed. Olimar, intelligently realizing that torpedoes don't work well on land, takes to the beach. And in a fit of irony, he dubs it the Serene Shores. Day 7 begins with the recovery of yet another bolt and gear, but also the radiant and shining Sagittarius, my beloved. In order to assert his place in the food chain on day 8, Olimar becomes king of the hill and earns his life savings back. Because why the hell would I not take those with me on a trip to a planet that has crashed my ship 3 times already? There was also a gear on the ledge above. Another bolt here, and oh, another gear there. Day 9 was a success as Serene Shores was 100% complete after bringing back the bowsprit. The next location was a seamless integration into the tutorial of the game, and I actually like this part quite a bit. With the hero's hideout given its name, Olimar recovers the interstellar radio once more on day 9. I then gathered my Pikmin all around and gave this mind-controlling lizard quite the wallop. I even got a gear afterwards. On day 10, my impending fate finally starts to sink in as I grab this repair-type bolt. Once he obtained the final extraordinary bolt, Olimar traversed this counter to gather the Geiger counter. The mechanical menace had the same idea, but I'm the one who ended up with the Kronos reactor. In order to be safe, Olimar has to make sure to take the pilot's seat, and with that, the ship is finally complete. Finally, being the completionist that he is, Olimar heads off to do even more errands for the freight president. Unfortunately, however, Olimar is forced to return as Moss gets homesick, leading to his inevitable transformation into planthood. With the story retold and a young rookie moved by it, a mysterious cave appears nearby, as one typically does. A wise monk inside the cave challenges me, and, after failing to get platinum on the first floor several times, wastes a whole day as I decide to plot revenge in the meantime. The next morning, I finally arrive at the untamed primordial thicket. Soon after landing, Louis rage baits us, and I take out my frustration on the local freaky fauna and lift up the heroic shield. Additionally, I free the Shivakadu from some mold and the searing acid shock from an orb with legs. With some time left in the day, I raid the subterranean swarm with my own swarm. On the first sub-level, I gather the Sphere of Calm and take a bystander's hoops of fortune and healing. After some pest extermination on the second level, I claim a couple of belted delicacies and another spouse alert, since mistrusting a single partner wasn't enough. Sub-level 3, the BBC Beetle harbored the creativity conduit, back at beginning track, and worst of all, an error. The next floor was pretty simple, and without trouble I got the Mega Horn, center left memory fragment, and another chance totem.
Return to the fucking tongue!
Sammy is saved, and another sweet stumble knot down on sub-level 5. I came to the conclusion that the subterranean is overrated, so I returned to the surface to go home. In the morning, I purchased the Plucking Whistle, the last of the lab's gear, and also turned Bochi into a drill sergeant since my army was lacking one. Back in the thicket, and I become the beholder of a glorious sight, and while still thinking about her, I reclaim the pretty pink onion. I then pick up the Crunchy Deluge and Delectable Bouquet, and when on my way, I see, oh my god! With that leafling recovered, I explore just to find, oh! Huh? What's that? Oh, I wake up and train Bochi to his max potential, but there is still one skill left. Regardless, I return to the primordial thicket pronto. I begin the day by learning that I can't swim in mud and therefore take revenge by solidifying it and its inhabitants. This nets me the beckoning mannequin. After moving my base, I collect the pair of fascinating items and faux fishy nearby. I then construct a bridge while knocking down the portable sunset. A flower lick is soon converted to sweet, sweet nectar, which gives my army the energy to grab the bathing pool. It is summer after all. Across the bridge, there lies a leafling who thinks I don't understand the basics. Well, he wasn't entirely wrong with how many tries it took me to remember that piece of shit pumpkin. Well, screw it. I'm just gonna go on a curing spree. Okay, contestants, after surviving all those nights, here's what we got. Behind door number 1, we have Boris, the one-note novelist. Can I get a round of applause?
Yay!
Behind door number 2, we have Grace, the definitely not stoned nomad. Can we get a round of applause for that too, I guess?
What the fuck is this?
And BOGO bonus round, we have Might Have Been Into Crypto Fox and Biox, the master of being himself. Amazing. Thank you for coming, and let's get back to the regularly scheduled program. Apparently, for making it through those nights, I supposedly cured every living leafling or something. Anyways, I'm going to get some rest after those night shifts. 2 more, and I might as well have been a Knight's Guard. That nap will have to come later, however, since capitalism waits for no one. Upon returning, I encountered Mr. Steelio Girls, and one beating later earned me the tremendous sniffer. I also brought back the close-by Huron's Tear and Dusk pustules before heading back into the menacing mud pit. Within reach on sub-level 1 were the Crunchy Deluge and Sphere of Good Fortune. Some finesse afterwards also allowed me to grab a Hoop of Passion. We filled a massive blowhog on sub-level 2, fueled by the jealousy that we couldn't take mud baths without dire consequences. This led to retrieving the Dawn pustules and Crush Nugget. I then rescued some origami cranes and another portable sunset from the murky mud. Sinking into the bottom floor, I made this bug-eyed craw mad and rescued Wolfgang, who unfortunately will be going through yet another existential crisis. To help ease the burden of questioning life's meaning, I made sure to grab the life station as well. With the sunlight dimming through the trees above, I knew that it was time to confront Louie, hopefully for the last time. Fortunately, since Nell is only human, after all, the dubious onion had no effect, and with that, I decided to settle it with this hawkitation, Dan Dory style. After Louie had the gall to call this climactic battle inconvenient, I took it personally and proceeded to bomb his home, steal his dog, and platinum metal the hell out of him. The butthurt Louie speeds away, probably to tame another dog or something, as I recover Nell and Moss before heading back. Before the day's over, I also made sure to manufacture more tanky purple Pikmin for a later reason. I learned the next day that my dog has actually been receiving a cure with our non-leafified cells rather than dog cells. The wonders of biology. Because Moss has cooties or some shit, we have to break into, and I quote, the dog thing's den. I kinda just hope it turns out to be like the Hocatave Freight's president or something. Just kinda like leafified and for some reason here. It also seems like Louie is going to adopt this primordial pup. Why? Because he is Louie, of course. With discussion time over, the mission pivots towards one goal. Get that guy. Well, their mission at least, as I still have to prove myself in the trial of the Sage Leaf. 10 floors of Dandori, which is synonymous with pain and suffering. Oh god, just like before, the first story kicked my ass. Possibly being one of the hardest for me to platinum. I could not have done it without the plucking whistle. The next 3 floors were not terrible with it, just being collect treasure or reach the sage within the time limit. The 5th floor was also simple, just being to gather all the pool balls. But this time I got rewarded with the splendid white jewel, the white onion. Beating the 6th story required solving a Rubik's Cube with my hands tied behind my back while submerged in oobleck. So it was easy enough. The 7th floor was a breeze, as I had already practiced slaughtering hundreds of infants before, so what was 100 more? While the 8th story was back to collecting more treasure, the time limit was rough, and took me many tries because of all the goddamn gold nugget piles. But eventually, it was conquered. With the 9th floor being a boss rush, it also took a few attempts to get a route going, but was quite doable to do as long as I utilized my spicy spray at the right time. Down to the final story of the trial. I encountered the precious purple onion, which suitably weighed 100 Pikmin. Additionally, there were some wrathful water wraiths getting in our way. While at first I used my Pikmin to carry the onion, I realized that Bochi's insane glutes were the strat to bringing home that hefty hub. And with that, the pit of not quite 100 trials was complete. Back at base, the white and purple onions fused with the rest, finally maxing out my weapon factor... onion. Before heading off to deal with Louie one final time, Nell asks us to bring him home safely. Obviously no promises, as he is an agent of chaos, and plus I am almost certain he actually prefers living here at this point. Now, I have been slowly building my purple Pikmin count, all for one treasure I spotted on my first visit to the Primordial Thicket. This is the Golden Vaulting Table. Assembling PNF 404's biggest and brawniest task force of 100 was no mean feat, but it paid off as I collected the single heaviest item in the game. With that test of strength out of the way, I took a plunge into the culmination of our hour-long journey. And yes, it is our journey, as you, dear friends, have sat through this chaotically long and hopefully amusing video. And even though this single story will soon end, hopefully it'll become the start of many more for this channel. Now, without further ado, let's make our final dive into the Cavern for a King. Right away, we are greeted with a rather toxic Puffstool variant on Sub-Level 1. Its defeat was followed by the recovery of a Sticky Jewel. Sub-Level 2 was accompanied by a horde of Bulborbs in a strangely out-of-place bush. Definitely not suspicious. Some delivery of punishment later, and I obtained the uniquely Yu-Goo and another mechanical harp. This time, playing the memorable lullaby of yet another Nintendo plant. On Sub-Level 3, these birds thought more heads were better than one, so I reduced the number down to none and collected the Phoenix Talisman of Life. I fought an uphill battle on sub-level 4 to reach this cool beetle, netting me something not as cool, 3 golf balls. On sub-level 5, these high-ranking grub dogs thought more heads were better than... Wait, I'm getting deja vu? Oh yeah, I also got the Tremendous Sniffer. Our favorite Louie was seen fleeing the crime scene on sub-level 6. But before that, I had to remove this planetary rubber cutie from godhood. There can only be one. I kindly asked sub-level 7's massive blowhogs to chill out and was then forced to confiscate their SS Peppermint and Berry. Next, this Scarlet Scorpion was bested and rewarded me with the Dapper Blob on sub-level 8. Following that, an intense game of King of the Hill against a mechanical death machine ended with me as victor. My army's courageous efforts on sub-level 9 allowed me to grab 2 sets of heroic and bright swords. I was actually able to fight a Smoky Prog without Glow Pikmin on sub-level 10, which was exciting. This rematch resulted in a Wayward Moon being retrieved. An Ink's Dehocutation was spotted on sub-level 11, but I couldn't get any clear photographs, so who will believe me? I made the tough call to collect the Discs of Amusing and Sorrowful Wisdom, Neon Goo, and Sphere of Desire from this floor's inhabitants before continuing on. Sub-level 12 offered a peaceful break along with an unfinished statue. A Guildamander on sub-level 13 attempted to halt my progression after I stole the center-right memory fragment. I took one last look at its adorable little face before fucking obliterating it. The pumpkin I got soon after made my immoral decision a little more bearable. Barely surviving a very horny cannon beetle on sub-level 14, I learned from the foolish fruit that sometimes things are better in pairs. Sub-level 15 had Louie, again. How is he so simultaneously fast and slow? Anyways, I then beat this contestant at a match of Wipeout to get 10 trap lids. 2 Water Wraiths slide in weights for me on sub-level 16, but compared to the gold bar from earlier, these guys were nothing for my purple Pikmin. I carried back the connection detector after they were dealt with swiftly. Okay, whoever decided it would be a good idea to have an Empress Bulblax in this extremely small corridor better fess up. Anyways, with her death, I procured the Fire-Breathing Feast on sub-level 17. With no shits left to give, sub-level 18's Sovereign Bulblax was immediately wiped off the face of this planet. I then recovered the Don't See It specs. Because you guys saw nothing. Sub-level 19 was my final break before the last floor. Finally. I grabbed the surrounding treasure, being the Pocked Airhead, Heroine's Tear, 3 of Cupid's Grenades, a Blonde Imposter, Zest Bomb, Juicy Gaggle, and a Sunseed Berry. I then made sure to have the whole rainbow of Pikmin colors before taking my last jump into the darkness below. We finally catch up to Louie, but he tells us to go home. Bitch. But before we can do anything about it, he, enters the beast behind him. The towering beast turns to face us, and what the fuck? Is that a dog? The most banging theme ensues as we duel this dog. After baiting the mutt a few times, I knock his health down to 0. Before I can feel conflicted about beating up a puppy, it turns blue. No! He is now an ice type apparently, shooting snowballs about and releasing a blizzard at will. I defeat him once more and he decides to go Super Saiyan.
It's over 9,000!
And thank God his electricity does not work like Pikmin 2's because I would literally and figuratively be fried. To the surprise of only colorblind people, he changes form yet again after this to a blazing red.
So long, Bowser!
With that form down, he can fly, apparently? Dodging his insta-kill beams of the damned, I knock this dog out of the air. Before I can wail on him, he decides to wail at me first. After that was done and dusted, the ancient Sirenhound flees, leaving behind the gift of friendship and an unconscious Louie. This collar contains the medical ingredient to cure our favorite little pooch. With that, we depart from the brutal cave and thereafter the primordial thicket. The final location is officially 100% complete. Rise and shine, a new day, a new destination. With Bochi the dog over his anxiety once and for all, we prepare the SS Shepherd for takeoff to return home. After an extensive detour to the Pikmin planet of PNF 404, the crew and I are finally ready to head home with every castaway rescued and treasure collected. Moss, who had to stay behind, seems to have taken command over my army, a worthy successor. The Rescue Corps and Olimar are spacebound and en route for home. Until my next adventure, Pikmin. And with that, Pikmin 4 has come to a close. Quite the beautiful journey and a blast from the past. Pikmin 4 actually turned out to be everything I had hoped it would be, and a little more. And now the fun part you've all been waiting for, results. After a mission length of 48 days, or 54 days after completing Louie's side quest, the successful Rescue Corps mission ended with 36 lab gear purchased, 11 Ochi skills learned and maxed, 50 castaways rescued or cured, 21 non-repeatable side missions complete, 18 Dandori challenges and battles platinumed, 6 locations 100% complete, 125 Piccolopedia entries recorded, 239 treasure catalog entries recorded, 410 total treasures collected, 1,595 Pikmin sprouted, and of course, 0 Pikmin lost. Pikmin 4 carries on the legacy of its predecessors as well, if not doing so better in many categories. It still retains the charm of assembling an army of cute but strong plant friends, and delivers on simple yet satisfying gameplay. Additionally, fully completing this game is not too difficult, but also rewarding to do. Pikmin 4 gave the full package for any completionist, coming in at a hefty rating of 100% complete the hunt. Oh god, that was a long one, huh? I really want to thank anyone who watched this far, as this video is truly special to me. Pikmin was the series that got me in 100% completing games, so I wanted this video to follow suit and be a full experience of the game. But it took way longer than anticipated, but I learned a lot about how I want these videos to look. So, while the next ones may be shorter, I hope they give you guys the same amount of enjoyment, if not more. Honestly, if you guys have any suggestions, or if you simply want to just banter about Pikmin in the comments, I would absolutely love to hear from you. The next video will be the Pikmin 4 review episode, so I hope to see you there. With that, keep beating games to complete them, my fellow achievement hunters and collectible gatherers. This is 100% Hunter, and I hope you all listen to your instincts and continue the hunt. Until next time.